Welcome back. Well, if you haven't heard by now, it's bare worth repeating, folks. If you haven't had a chance to check out Big Flim Radio and TV website, podcast website, I highly suggest that you do, especially now we're into the midst of the beginning of the Christmas holiday season for 2021. If you especially our online store where if you want to purchase Big Flim Radio and TV theme merch, especially for Christmas gifts for your friends, loved ones, co-workers, alien from Mars, stranger, so on and so forth, by all means, please check out our website. It has some nice goodies in there, shirts, mugs, cups, so many different Big Flim Radio and TV theme merchandise. So please check it out for your Christmas shopping needs. And like I say, it might be a nice special there for you. It's a little special holiday discount from yours truly. So by all means, please check it out, as well as our other 5 podcast channels dedicated to sports, talk, music, and sports, mainly football, college football, and NFL football. So please check out the website at www.bigflimradiotv.com. Again, that's www.bigflimradiotv, that's BIGFLEM as in Mike, RADIO TV, that's all one word, .com. Now, if you want to be a guest picker, prognosticator, or if you want to make a dedication to one of our music shows, or you want to be a guest on one of our talk shows, or if you want to leave a comment on how we can better our podcast, or if you want to, leave suggestions, or you just want to say hi or make a dedication, by all means, please, communicate with us on our email address at bigflimradiotv@gmail.com. Again, that's bigflimradiotv, that's BIGFLEM as in Mike, RADIO TV at gmail.com. And also, we're on social media, folks. Like I said, we have a Twitter handle, so you can do the same thing on Twitter under the hashtag @flim_radio. Again, that's @flim, FLEM as in Mike, _radio, RADIO. Also, we have a Facebook group page for Big Flim Radio and TV, as well as a YouTube channel. So like I said, we haven't recorded much videos in a while, but we still have a few there you can check out. And like I said, please subscribe and like our channel, and also leave a comment as well. Like I said, I'll be working on doing some holiday music shows, and of course doing some more of Big Flim's Pigskin Picks college football as well as NFL football as we're wrapping up the regular season in college football and get ready for our bowl game season, as well as the conference championships, all the way to our national championship game in Indianapolis, as well as the rest of the NFL season, all the way to the NFL playoffs, all the way to Super Bowl, I believe, 55? Yeah, 55 or 56 in SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. I hope I get a chance to check out the Super Bowl in person. Cross my fingers. Or somebody be nice enough to buy me a ticket to go there. I'll be greatly appreciated for a nice Christmas or birthday present, since my birthday is coming up in January 15th, be precise, for those who don't know. Hint, hint. All right, folks. Hey, again, like I said, please check us out. Check out our website, check out our online store, and listen to our other podcast shows. Give us a try. All right, so now let's get back to our picks, shall we? All right, we're going to continue on with going back to my home state again of Georgia. We have the Georgia State Panthers at 6-5 as they host the Troy University Trojans at 5-6. Like I said, so far Georgia State has been doing pretty good. So they got the odds at Georgia State at 6.5-point favorite. So who am I to argue? So we're going to pick Georgia State Panthers over Troy Trojans. All right, our next matchup will be in the WAC, in the Western Athletic Conference, where the 6-5 Wyoming Cowboys, they're in Cheyenne, host the 5-7 Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Right now, the experts got Wyoming at a 10.5-point favorite. Who am I to disagree? So we're going to go with the Wyoming Cowboys in a close one over Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. All right, our next matchup might not be worth mentioning, but since we're sticking to the theme of rivalry week, we have the Land of Lincoln matchup, where we have the struggling 3-8 Northwestern Wildcats traveling to Champaign, Michigan, to take on the 4-7 Illinois Fighting Illini. Right now, the experts got Illinois to win this one in a 6.5-point favorite, but I'm more sentimental towards Northwestern, based out of Evanston, Illinois, north of Chicago. So with that being said, we're going to go with Northwestern Wildcats over the Illinois Fighting Illini for the Land of Lincoln. All right. Our next matchup is another Big Ten matchup. And like I said, mentioning my favorite team in Michigan, the Michigan State Spartans, after getting drummed by Ohio State last week. Ow, that was painful. It was really painful. 49-7 drumming at the Horseshoe against the Ohio State Buckeyes, aka the Buckaroos. They head back home to East Lansing to take on the 7-4 Penn State Nittany Lions. They kind of struggled so far this year as well. And right now, I just read this morning that Michigan State has 20 players that won't be playing today for whatever reason. I'm assuming it's the flu or COVID-19 protocol or whatever. But Michigan State will be hamstrung by 20 players. But that being said, I think Mel Tucker will do what he has to do to get that team ready. So we're going to go with the number 12 Michigan State Spartans over the Penn State Nittany Lions, even though the experts picked Penn State as a 4-point favorite. All right, our next pick, we have the battle for the Oaken Bucket and the Battle of the Hoosier State, as the struggling 2-9 Indiana Hoosiers travel to West Lafayette, Indiana, to take on the 7-4 Purdue Boilermakers. 4 again for the Oak Wooden Bucket. Like I said, Purdue has done pretty well this year, and right now the experts have them as a 15-point favorite. So who am I to argue again? So we're going to go with Purdue Boilermakers in a blowout over the Hoosiers. Like I said, right now we're in college basketball season, and it might be the other way around in college basketball, but we'll get to that another time. All right, then moving right along, our next pick, we have the Civil War battle, which I found out this morning. They also play for the Platypus Trophy in the state of Oregon, and also a bid to the Pac-12 championship is up for grabs as the number 11 Oregon Ducks, after that heartbreaking loss, and they had 9-2 as they host the Oregon State Beavers, their cross-state rivals, at 7-4. Like again for this Platypus Trophy, aka the Civil War. And right now they got Oregon with a 7-point favorite. Who am I to differ? So we're going to go with the Ducks, so they can win the Pac-12 North. I think it's the North Division, and playing in the Pac-12 championship next week. And of course, another big rivalry, especially a big one in the SEC, where we have the number 3 Alabama Crimson Tide at 10-1, traveling to the plains of Auburn, Alabama, at Jordan-Hare Stadium, hair to hair, to take on the 6-5 Auburn Tigers, aka War Eagles, War Buzzards, War Pigeons, Kittens, whatever you want to call them. That's my nicknames for them, but the Auburn Tigers. And of course, the bad news is that their quarterback Bo Nix is out for the rest of the season with season-ending ankle surgery. And without Bo Nix, I don't think Auburn stands a chance to beat Alabama. It would be a miracle if Bryce Young gets a stomach virus or the flu or something at kickoff time and whatever. But I don't see Auburn beating Alabama in this game. It would be nice if Bo Nix was playing, and it would help Georgia out too. Soften up Alabama a little bit for the SEC game next week. So with that being said, and of course the experts have Alabama with a 20.5-point favorite because Bo Nix is out, we're going to go pick the Tide. Roll Tide. All right, our next pick, we have the Battle of the Commonwealth State. One of the Commonwealth states, in this case would be Virginia. The 6-5 Virginia Cavaliers in Charlottesville, hosting the 5-6 Virginia Tech Hokies out of Blacksburg. Both teams struggled this year, and right now the experts have the Virginia Cavalier with a 7-point favorite, so who am I to argue? stuff like that to salvage their season. And then plus they're bowl eligible as well. So I'm picking the Virginia. Well, we're picking the Virginia Cavaliers over the Virginia Tech Hokies. All right, our next matchup, another rivalry game, the Volunteer State matchup, where we have the 6-5 Tennessee Volunteers, the Voluntold, hosting woeful 2-9 Vanderbilt Commodores. The team out of Nashville rolling high I-40 east to Knoxville and head to Neyland Stadium, aka Rocky Top. So at least I guess Rocky Top will be rocking this evening, as this should be a blowout game for Tennessee, and hope also make a big statement for the bowl selection committee, because they're already bowl eligible at 6-5. But like I said, they can make a big statement if they blow out Vanderbilt and go 7-5. So with that being said, we're going for Tennessee Volunteers, so the experts have them at a 31.5 point favorite. All right, our next pick, another rivalry week game here, and there's another one, key game in the Big Ten in their other division, where the number 14 Wisconsin Badgers at 8-3 trying to lock down their division championship to play in the Big 12 in the Big Ten championship next week, as they travel to Minneapolis to take on the Golden Gophers at 7-4, and also the bragging rights to the Paul Bunyan Axe as well. And like I said, Minnesota, the home team, could spoil it for the Badgers, because last I checked, there was 4 teams in that division fighting to take that division title, but I think it's Wisconsin and Iowa and stuff, and Iowa is kind of struggling as well. So that being said, we're going to go with the number 14 ranked Wisconsin Badgers over the Gophers in a close game. And right now, the odds makers have them at a 7-point favorite. All right, our next matchup, we have the the SMU Mustangs, Southern Methodist University at 8-3. They're doing pretty good, and also their head coach just decided to take on a job at TCU, and this will be his last regular season game. So as they host the Tulsa Golden Hurricane at 5-6, they're kind of struggling as well. With that momentum going, we're going to pick the SMU Mustangs, and of course the odds makers have them at a 6.5 point favorite. All right, our next game, we have another SEC matchup, and it's also a last hurrah game for Ed Orgeron down in LSU. Like I said, with all the struggles they had over the last 2 seasons, they decided to, boot him out and move on to bigger and better things. So this will be his last home game, and right now he definitely needs to win if he wants to be bowl eligible to continue on the season. They're hosting the number 15 ranked Texas A&M Aggies at 8-3, and right now, unfortunately, even though they beat Alabama, the only team to beat Alabama this year, but since they're 8-3 and they don't have that tiebreaker edge for Alabama, so basically they're just playing for bowl game seeding. So I know LSU is going to give everything they got to squeak out a nice win for Ed Orgeron as he heads out the door. But I think Texas A&M is going to spoil their fun down there in Death Valley in Baton Rouge at Tiger Stadium. So we're going to pick the number 15th ranked Texas A&M, and right now the odds makers have them at a 6.5 point favorite. All right, our next matchup is, of course, another rivalry game, and a key rivalry game in the Big 12. And the winner of this matchup will go to the Big 12 championship, as the number 10 Oklahoma Sooners at 10-1 travel from Norman all the way to Stillwater, northeast of Norman, to take on the number 7 Oklahoma State Cowboys also at 10-1. And again, like I said, the winner of this matchup will go to the Big 12 championship game, and is also called the Battle of the Bedlams. And right now, the odds makers have the Oklahoma State Cowboys at a 4.5 point favorite. Who am I to argue? And I know Oklahoma's going to try to play it tight and play it close, but we're going to stick with the number 7 Oklahoma State Cowboys in this one. All right, another matchup is another rivalry game matchup. Like I said, this is a rivalry week theme here. We have the Palmetto State matchup, where we have the number 23 ranked Clemson Tigers at 8-3. Like I said, they kind of struggled a little bit this year. Of course, started the season playing against Georgia in a tight defensive game. that kind of set the stage for them this season as they travel from Clemson, South Carolina, as they travel southeast to go to William Brice Stadium to take on the 6-5 South Carolina Gamecocks, aka the Game Chickens. And like I said, it would be a nice way to end the season on a high note for Clemson, Dope, Dabo Sweeney, and the boys up there. So with that being said, and also help them in their bowl appearance as well. So we're going to pick the number 23 Clemson Tigers over South Carolina Gamecocks, aka the Game Chickens. All right, our next matchup again is another rivalry game where we have the Kentucky Wildcats at 8-3. They had a great year this year, even though Georgia beat them, and they put up 14 points to Georgia as they travel to Papa John Stadium in Louisville to take on the 6-5 Louisville Cardinals. The Bluegrass Skate matchup, the other Commonwealth matchup as well too. So with that being said, we're going to go with the Kentucky Wildcats over the Louisville Cardinals. And right now, even though the odds makers got Louisville the 3-point favorite, but we're going to go with the Kentucky Wildcats. And here's another game. This is a game that we didn't want to do, but we decided to put it in there anyway for posterity's sake. Number 6 Notre Dame Fighting Irish at 10-1, traveling to Palo Alto, California, to take on the woeful 3-8 Stanford Cardinal. Right now, the odds makers have a 20.5 point favorite for Notre Dame. Who am I to argue, or who are we to argue? And Notre Dame should destroy Stanford in a rout. And then we got another game here. We have the number 13th ranked BYU Cougars at 9-2, traveling from Provo, to head to the Coliseum right off the 110 freeway as they take on the woeful 4-6 USC Trojans to help close their season out. Right now, they're still searching for a new head coach after they fired Helton, who is now the head coach at Georgia Southern University. With that being said, we're going to go with BYU, I think, in a possible blowout over the USC Trojans. The odds makers have them as a 7-point favorite, but I think it's going to be at least 2 touchdowns. That's what we think, I would say. It's not me. And last but not least, we have the California Golden Bears at 4-6, traveling to the Rose Bowl to take on the 7-4 UCLA Bruins, aka Winnie the Pooh, the Teddy Bears. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of traveling through the campus of UCLA. It's a nice campus. It's my first time traveling through UCLA. It's pretty nice. Seeing some, things, and got folks traveling on campus, students, family members, and all that good stuff. It was a beautiful day yesterday in LA, in Westwood, our neighborhood of LA, east of the 405. It's pretty nice. Going back to the subject at hand, right now the experts have UCLA at a 6.5 point favorite over the Cal Golden Bears. And we're going to go ahead and pick the UCLA Bruins and stop at 7-4 over the 4-6 Golden Bears. And like I say, college basketball is going on right now, so I have much mad love for the UCLA Bruins basketball team. My favorite basketball player, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, came from there. Reggie Miller, and it's at that lineage and prodigy there, pedigree there. Excuse me, wrong choice of words there. All right, folks, we're going to take another quick break. And we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode of Big Flim, or Lorenzo's Big Pigskin Picks College Football Edition, here on Big Flim Radio and TV. Welcome back, folks. All right, let's do our recap of our picks, shall we? Welcome back, folks. Let's go ahead and wrap up this episode of Big Flim, or Lorenzo's Pigskin Picks College Football Edition for week number 13. All right, as we start off at the top of the show, we picked Georgia over Georgia Tech handily. We picked Wake Forest over Boston College. We picked Maryland Terrapins over the Scarlet Knights. We picked Michigan over Ohio State in a big upset. We picked Florida State over Florida. We picked Baylor, number 8 Baylor, over Texas Tech. And of course, like I mentioned, Michigan is number 5. Ohio State is number 2. And of course, Georgia is number 1, the current number 1 nation, and also Wake Forest is number 18. So I want to make sure I say that. Also, we picked the Army West Point Black Knights over the Liberty Flames. We picked the number 22 University of Texas San Antonio Roadrunners over North Texas Mean Green. We picked Georgia State Panthers over the Troy Trojans. We picked Wyoming Cowboys over the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. We picked Northwestern Wildcats over the Illinois Fighting Illini. We picked number 12 ranked Michigan State over Penn State in East Lansing. We picked Purdue over Indiana for the Oakland Bucket. We picked number 11 Oregon Ducks over the Oregon State Beavers for the Platypus Trophy, Civil War, and also a bid for the Big 12 to the Pac-12 championship. We also picked number 3 Alabama over Auburn in a blowout in the Iron Bowl. Forgot to mention that rivalry game. We picked Virginia Cavaliers over the Virginia Tech Hokies for the Commonwealth of Virginia matchup. For the Volunteer matchup, we have the Tennessee Volunteers in a blowout over Vanderbilt Commodores. We picked the number 14 ranked Wisconsin Badgers over the Golden Gophers for the Paul Bunyan Axe, and also a bid for the Big Ten championship next week. We also picked SMU Mustangs over Tulsa to give their outgoing coach a good win. And we picked the number 15 Texas A&M Aggies over LSU. Unfortunately, to send Ed Ogeron out on a not too positive note. We picked the number 7 Oklahoma State Cowboys over the number 10 Oklahoma Sooners in the Battle of the Bedlams, and also a bid for the Big 12 championship next week. And also we picked the number 23 Clemson Tigers over South Carolina Gamecocks, aka the Game Chickens, for the Battle of the Palmetto State. We picked the Kentucky Wildcats over the Louisville Cardinals in the Bluegrass matchup, the other Commonwealth matchup. We picked the number 6 Notre Dame Fighting Irish in a blowout over Stanford Cardinals. We picked the number 13 ranked BYU Cougars over USC Trojans in an upset in a blowout. And last but not least, we picked the UCLA Bruins, aka the Teddy Bears, and Winnie the Pooh over Cal State Golden Bears. All right, folks, that about wraps it up here for another edition of Big Flim or Lorenzo's Pigskin Picks College Football Edition for week number 13. I hope that you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed the picks. I know some of these games has already wrapped up and completed, and there's some more games getting ready to get started. So please enjoy your games, and also continue to enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday weekend. If you're out and about shopping, be safe out there. Don't drive like a maniac. Keep your items locked up in your car or your house. Make sure to keep them out of view. Park in a well-lit area. Be blessed and be a blessing to someone, especially with this holiday season coming up. And also, we just found out there's another new COVID-19 variant just popped up out of South Africa and stuff, and it might hit our shores. It's called Omicron. So please, 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 if you're not vaccinated, I highly encourage you to get vaccinated. But that is your personal decision. I'm just stating my personal opinion. For someone who served 23 years in the military, fought 2 combat tours in Iraq, I have that right to make my opinion. But you do what you got to do for you and your family members and your loved ones. And also, take care of others as well who are immunocompromised, as well as the elderly and newborns. And also, please get a flu shot if you need to get a flu shot. Also, continue to wear your mask if need be, if your local municipality requires you to. And make sure you wash your hands, use hand sanitizers, and maintain that 6 feet distance for social distancing or physical distancing. So we still got to keep that in mind. And also, please be safe. And if you see something out of the ordinary, say something. Law enforcement, firefighters, or whoever. So, be safe out there, folks. And tune in again next week for another edition of Big Flim or Lorenzo's Pigskin Picks College Football Edition here on Big Flim Radio and TV. And also don't forget to check out tomorrow's Big Flim's Pigskin Picks NFL edition for week number 11, I believe. Yeah, week number 11. All right. Until then, take care. God bless. Be safe. Live long and prosper for my favorite character on Star Trek, Mr. Spock. And also continue to enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday and look forward to Christmas. You got 23 shopping days left until Christmas. So, like I said, just be safe out there, folks. All right, it's time for me to sign off now. Take care and God bless. Big Flim's Pigskin Picks NFL and College Football Editions are a production of Black Rebel Productions in association with Flim Media, a division of LWF Enterprises, LLC. The opening theme music clips are the sole properties of CBS Sports College Football as well as Fox NFL Sports. This podcast is intended for entertainment purposes only.